Hey guys, this is Dr. Philip Cordova with Core Chiropractic. Today I want to talk about a very new thing that we're implementing here in the office. It is a leg length inequality x-ray. And the reason why this has become so important is we're really taught in school that your legs are not actually anatomically different lengths, but rather there's a functional leg length difference that occurs with a pelvis misalignment. So, it's not uncommon. You're laying face down on the table, we're checking you out, and I can see that one leg is noticeably shorter than the other. And by checking the pelvis and, challenging the joint a little bit, I can see that if I adjust the certain area that the legs will even out. Now, that's been great and has worked pretty well, but what's gotten us frustrated is, the same misalignment seems to happen over and over again. And so patients will come in and they've got that right short leg, we adjust it, evens out. They come in, a couple weeks later, right short leg, adjust it, even things out. And so when we saw that it wasn't changing or improving long term, we started trying to attack it with, stretches and exercises, and we would start to show people how to, work on their hip flexibility and their hip rotators and keep those muscles from being so tight that it was pulling that pelvis out of alignment, causing that right short leg, causing that same problem to go back out of place. When that wasn't working all the time, then we really started trying to look at their habits. What activities are they doing on a regular basis that can contribute to this short leg? And then I attended a seminar by a Dr. Mitch Malley, who is very world-renowned in his ability to adjust arms and legs, and he was hosting this leg length inequality workshop, and I thought, hey, perfect, this is exactly what I need to learn and to try to implement with our patients. And what was the most mind-opening part about this is that whereas in school we're taught that anatomical short legs are rare, where it's not, anything more than 3 millimeters would be considered significant, where that hardly ever happens, Dr. Malley was able to document 93% of the time people actually have one leg shorter than the other anatomically, and it's gone undiagnosed because of how we measure. And so the way of measuring it in the past has been getting out a tape measure, starting at the belly button and measuring down the leg, and then trying to find out if the leg is different. And now that has been unreliable. And because it's unreliable, you just never have an idea of whether or not it's going to make a difference. So instead, I'll kind of show you what we're doing now. And this is my x-ray. And so I'm going to take this off here so you can have an idea. So this is my x-ray. And you can see what we do is we take an x-ray of the hips, the knees, and then the ankles. And it gives us an idea of how long the femur is and then how long the tibia is. And we can get an actual difference of how these, of what the leg lengths are. So there's a ruler that we use. I'll show you that right over here. Okay, and so this ruler attaches to where we shoot the x-ray, and that shows up on the x-ray, and then that allows us to take the x-ray and then measure it and actually be able to see what's going on. So back to my x-ray, is I was able to determine that my left leg is actually 5 millimeters shorter than my right leg. And by inserting this this little heel lift in there, I'll show you that here in 1 second. Hopefully this won't pop out of place. So by inserting this in there, hopefully you can still hear me. This little piece of leather, it's 5 millimeters. It just slips into my shoe. And now, the difference was noticeable right away, particularly if you have 3 to 5 millimeters, a little heel lift in there, you immediately feel more balanced. You immediately can tell that, you're more stable. The difference is when I'm running is a big difference, where I was noticing that one leg was getting noticeably tighter than the other leg, or one leg constantly had flexibility issues, or I felt stiffer on that, like that right SI joint right there on the pelvis. And so when the same issue keeps occurring over and over again, and you've looked at how you've run, you've looked at how you've stretched and your flexibility, you've taken a look at your shoes, you've taken a look at the surfaces that you run at, and it's just not making sense, then you can now look at leg length difference and see if that's potentially a problem for you. Another thing that happens is, like, if you're working out and you're doing squats, you'll notice that as you're starting to bend down, that you feel like you have to kind of tilt to go down to get past that little catch that's in there, or you feel like you're off to one side and you're constantly trying to correct to get yourself back straight. That's another indicator that you may have one leg actually longer or shorter than the other. Now, I wish there was a lot easier way of doing this, but I found this to be the most effective. It's actually, the x-ray itself only takes a couple of minutes, and then we are able to draw the lines on it and figure out what's going on. And it's actually a pretty quick process to determine what's happening. And for our current patients right now, we're actually doing this for free right now, because as we're trying to work out the bugs and making sure that we can continue to deliver this service at a high level, like we want to make sure anything we do here at Core is at the highest level possible, is that we're not charging our patients right now. So we've already kind of earmarked a few patients that we thought, this would probably help that patient. And we've asked them if they would be willing to let us x-ray them to do that. And they say, yes, we check it. The biggest difference that we've had so far has been 22 millimeters. So that's almost an actual inch difference in leg length. And we've seen their pelvis off, and you can even see like on the x-ray that their pelvis is shifted. But when you can measure their leg and see that it's their leg that's actually the problem, slipping a heel lift into there and helping balance them out, it's life-changing on how quickly that can affect them. So not everyone's going to be 22 millimeters, but a 3 millimeter, a 5 millimeter is going to make a big change in how you walk around, how you exercise, how long you hold your adjustments, and how good you feel. And if this is something that you're interested in, if you're already one of our current patients, just ask your doctor at your next visit. We're happy to set up that time for you, happy to get that x-ray done, find out if it's something that you need, and then we can go from there. And if you're a new patient and you wanted us to check that out, we're certainly able to do that for you as well. It would just be like our regular new patient visit, and we'll check your pelvis out. We'll find out if you are anatomically shorter or longer, and we'll help get that balance. If you've been under chiropractic care for years and years and find that it's the same thing out of place all the time, it may be time to check leg length inequality and see if that can help you. If you have any questions, always feel free to email me here or message us here. My email is drcordova, Dr. Cordova at corechiropractic.net, and I will see you soon. Thanks.